Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Fallin by Alicia Keys. I'm definitely not even going to start having a go at singing this one because it would just be really abysmal and I won't torture you with that. But this is a fantastic song for practicing your minor shapes and some basic finger picking. Because you're picking the notes of the chords out individually, it really exposes anything that's going wrong. Now I'm going to show you a couple of different approaches to playing it as well. Because there's just two chords right the way through the whole thing, there's a couple of different ways of doing it that are all kind of useful and got good things to learn out of each way of doing it. The one I want to start with is using a capo here at the 2nd fret. The two chords that we're going to be using is D minor and A minor 7. So the first chord we need to check out is the D minor chord. We're starting here with the 1st finger in the 1st fret of the thinner string, 3rd finger 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and 2nd finger 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and we play the open 4th string. Not going to play the thickest two strings, and we just have there open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 1st fret. That's the kind of standard way of playing a D minor chord. But you could also, if you find it difficult to get the 3rd finger there, you can use your little finger for that as well. So either the 3rd finger or the little finger there on the 2nd string. That's just purely a personal preference. Now the second chord that we need with the capo at the 2nd fret is an A minor 7 chord. Now this is very simply, if we start off with a regular A minor chord, so nothing on the thicker string, open, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, open, and we lift off 3rd finger, we end up with the A minor 7 chord. Okay, it's definitely easier. The fact that it's got a 7 in its name doesn't make it harder. Okay, so A minor, lift off 3rd finger, A minor 7. You probably saw my 2nd finger sneak forward there a bit, because on a regular A minor, that's as far forward as I can get my 2nd finger. But it's always better to try and have it close to the fret. So in this case, once 3rd finger's off, can slide up next to the fret like that. So be aware of that finger placement as well. The closer you are to the fret, the lighter you have to touch to get a good note. Okay, it's pretty important. So if we're going to use those two chords, so just D minor and A minor 7, the song is in 6/8. Now most of the songs you probably look at as begin as a 4/4, so 4 beats to the bar. 6/8 has 2 beats of 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's very much this do da da do da da, but we think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's important to feel it like that. And if you're going to do finger picking, which is probably what you want to start off with this, we'd have the thumb playing the bass note, then 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger playing the thinnest 3 strings, and then 2nd finger, 1st finger. Now that makes 6 picks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first thing you want to be doing is just practicing there, getting that little pattern. Thumb, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 on the D minor. Trying to make it nice and even, not tripping over any of the strings. Do it as slowly as you need to. Make sure you get that right on the D before you move on to the next chord. The A minor 7, exactly the same fingering for the finger picking except the thumb, which moves over to the 5th string. So fingers 1, 2 and 3 are exactly the same. Okay, they're still here on the thinnest 3 strings. Once you've got that down, you want to practice moving from one chord to the next. Now, there's just a little note here about the 2nd finger. If we're playing the A minor like this, we're not actually touching the 4th string. If you feel really confident that you can pick only the right notes, then you could leave your 2nd finger off. Would sound okay. The danger here with the thumb particularly, if you accidentally play the 4th string and you got your 2nd finger off, it's not going to sound nice. So I think you're much better off leaving that 2nd finger down. And then if your thumb accidentally touches that next string, it's just note to the chord anyway, and it's not going to make any difference. It's not going to sound bad at all. And once you got that, just practicing, trying to make it feel nice and even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you got a real killer vocal, you could probably get away with keeping to that same fingerstyle pattern throughout. But it does border, even with a great vocal, it's going to start to get a little bit samey. Okay, so really good thing to think about is to move into a strumming pattern at some point. 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3 is a nice one. Or 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6. I should really count it. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6. You can play either A minor or stay on the A minor 7. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, for the strummy part as much. Or a bit of both. Lots of different options there that you could choose from. But the key thing there is knowing that it's in 6/8, getting a nice fingerstyle, working on the notes of the fingerstyle being nice and even, and the fact that that'll expose if any of your chords aren't quite right or you're getting buzzy notes. So fingerstyle, these basic kind of patterns that play the notes of the chords individually, are really good at exposing if you've not got a finger placed properly and it's a bit buzzy, you know, if you're getting this kind of, or on the D minor, if you're getting that kind of thing, it'll be like, okay, something's wrong here. Is a finger touching the wrong string? Is it not pressing hard enough? That, you know, the placement of the fingers becomes a little bit more important. And it's such a great little, you know, a tune for working on that kind of stuff. As I mentioned, there's a few different approaches. The original recording is, of course, piano. And so therefore we've got a few different ways of playing it on the guitar. I think this using the 2nd fret and then using a D minor to an A minor is probably the easiest one and the best one for a beginner. But there's a couple of other nice ones that I thought I'd explain. The first one is playing it without a capo. And the 2 chords that you would have then would be E minor and B minor. Okay, you can see that that's kind of the same as the A minor shape, right, that we were playing the 2nd chord. These sound exactly the same, okay? So this chord, my first finger's playing, you know, the capo there. I'm playing a D minor. It is the same chord. It's got a different sound, but it is still an E minor. Now, with E minor, if we stay with that same picking pattern of going, this time it would be thicker string, we'll be playing the root. Thumb, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Again, we could get away with not having any fingers on there. Sounds like a Metallica song, doesn't it? But we could probably better off keeping either 1st and 2nd or 2nd and 3rd down, just in case you accidentally hit one of those wrong strings, right? So that's the E minor. The 2nd chord though, B minor or B minor 7. This one, particularly B minor 7, is a tough barred chord because your first finger's got to cover all the strings, particularly this 3rd string. But again, this is good for exposing it if it's not right, because you might find you get this. You have to really work on kind of pressing the middle of the 1st finger down to get that nice sound. Okay, again, you should probably have 3rd finger down as well. Most people find that putting the 3rd finger down kind of twists the 1st finger around and makes it even harder to get all of the notes clear, but it's probably worth it. I would recommend keeping that 3rd finger down. So that's, again, you could play the whole song, E minor, B minor 7, E minor, B minor 7. And they would be the chords that a piano player would be playing. If you want to play it with someone else, you'd say, oh, it's E minor to B minor 7. Even if you had the capo on, you'd still say it was E minor to B minor 7. Now I'm going to give you one more, just because I think it's kind of cool and it's a bit interesting, is drop D. Now what I mean by that is the thicker string, tuning it down to the note D. So the thicker string and the 4th string sound the same. Then we have the capo on as well at the 2nd fret, like we started off. But what that gives us is this really kind of nice way of playing the E minor. Okay, so this is 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, 3rd fret 3 frets above the capo on the 4th string, and 3rd finger going down on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Now we have this pattern. Okay, so thicker string, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and back down. And then to the same place that we had for the A minor 7 that we had originally. Now some of you are probably like wondering, what on earth is he doing? Why is he making that so difficult for himself? Well, the point is that those notes are the notes that the piano player is playing. Okay, so if you really want it to sound like the record, I think that sounds more like it, you know, it's the same notes exactly. Now, if you get strumming, it's also got a kind of an interesting this clash, which I think is a really nice kind of textural thing to have, that kind of where it's really nice and, you know, sound is very pretty. Just kind of an interesting texture there, kind of cool thing for a beginner to explore and take it up a level. Remember, over on the website I have hundreds more songs structured perfectly for beginners. You can choose by the chords that you know, or you can look for songs that fit perfectly for the stage that you're on my beginners course. It really is pretty effective. Go and have a look. There'll be a link in the description. Assuming that you're over on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye bye.